This is my peer teaching video for the young child class. I chose the topic of attachment because as an early Head Start home visitor, I teach attachment to parents quite often. And I feel attachment is a crucial part of a child's social and emotional development. What is attachment? Attachment is the close emotional bond between two people. Usually when speaking about attachment, we think about the bond between a parent and an infant, or an infant and its caregiver. John Bowlby was thought to be the first attachment theorist. He's the first to actually study attachment and the effects that it has on child development. Bowlby defined 4 key components of attachment in his theory. He named these components safe haven, secure base, proximity maintenance, and separation distress. In our textbook, he names 4 phases. Bowlby said that attachment does not occur immediately, but has to emerge in phases. According to Bowlby's attachment theory, safe haven is when a child can rely on the caregiver for comfort whenever they feel threatened, frightened, or in danger. Secure base is when a child has a good and reliable foundation as it learns and figures out things on their own. We often see this with toddlers who are becoming mobile, and they may crawl or walk to the other side of the room for a toy, but look back to make sure that the caregiver is still there, in case they want to return to that secure base. Proximity maintenance is very similar to secure base. The child is focusing on exploring their environment, but still tries to stay close to the caregiver. And separation distress. This is when the child becomes upset and unhappy when it is separated from the caregiver. Often we see this when children are going to daycare for the first time, or when they're going to preschool. These are the children that are clinging to their parent and are distressed and upset and crying unconsolably. Our textbook talks about Harry Harlow's research on rhesus monkeys. This experiment was really interesting. Harlow raised monkeys to see if they would prefer the wire mother that provided them with milk or food, or the terry cloth wrapped mother that provided them with warmth and comfort. Through his observations, he noticed that the monkeys spent most of their time clinging to the terry cloth mother. His experiment demonstrates that feeding is not the crucial element in the attachment process, but that having that comfort and that warmth of the contact of a mother is more important. Mary Ainsworth is another researcher who studied attachment. She's the one that did the strange situation experiment. Her observations of infants and toddlers who were left alone briefly and then reunited with their mothers gave her the idea of attachment styles. Ainsworth named 3 styles of attachment. They are secure attachment, ambivalent insecure attachment, and avoidant insecure attachment. According to Ainsworth's definitions of attachment styles, a securely attached child is one that feels happy when the caregiver is around. They may become upset when the caregiver leaves, but they separate easily knowing that their parent or caregiver will return, and they feel secure about that. A child seeks comfort from their caregiver when frightened if they are securely attached. Securely attached children have caregivers who provide them with positive emotions. When the caregiver returns, the child greets them and is excited to see them. Securely attached children prefer their caregiver to strangers, and they have a sense of security with their caregiver. Ambivalent, insecure attachment is when the child may become wary of strangers. They are greatly distressed if they become separated from their caregiver, and they do not appear to be comforted when the caregiver returns. Ambivalent, insecure attached children do not feel that they can rely on a caregiver to meet their basic needs. An avoidant insecure attachment is when the child may avoid their caregivers altogether. These children do not seek care or comfort from their caregivers. They just don't trust that they can rely on their caregivers for that comfort and care. These children feel little or no preference between strangers and caregivers, and they have no security or trust with that caregiver. Two researchers, Main and Solomon, added a fourth attachment style in 1986. They named this attachment style disorganized insecure attachment. Disorganized insecure attachment is when there's no clear attachment between the child and the caregiver, or the attachment may be mixed. The caregiver may be responsive and caring at some times, but then also may be avoidant and ignoring the child at other times. This causes confusion in the child. The child doesn't know if the caregiver is going to meet their needs or not meet their needs. The care they receive is very inconsistent. So the child may show a mixture of avoidance and resistant behaviors. These children may even appear to be dazed and confused or just apprehensive around the caregiver. This is a chart showing the attachment styles and the percentage of the children that fall into that category. The chart also shows the child's general state of being, how the mother is responsive, and the behavior that follows. There are many benefits of a healthy attachment. The key component to a securely attached child is their sense of trust. Securely attached children have a willingness to explore, which promotes their learning. These children gain a positive view of themselves, an understanding of empathy, and an ability to express emotions. These are skills that help them to be better successful in relationships later in life. Securely attached children are also better at problem-solving skills and self-control. This gives them better coping skills and flexibility in routine as they get older. Secure attachment is linked to positive emotional health, high self-esteem, self-confidence, and social competence when interacting with others. Research also shows that attachment helps with infant brain development. There are many ways that a parent can promote bonding and secure attachment with their infant. The first thing a parent can do is to begin the attachment process during pregnancy. A mother who is pregnant can rub her stomach, read out loud, and talk to the baby. The mother should picture the unborn child as a real person. If the mother has already picked out a name, call the baby by name as she talks about the baby. Most importantly, the pregnant mother needs to take care of herself so that her unborn child can be as healthy as possible. Once the child has been born, there are other ways to promote secure attachment in infants. The first is to respond to the baby's basic needs. Parents need to be aware of their baby's cues and signals and respond accordingly. Learn the baby's cries and what the cries mean. Give them their basic needs of feeding, diapering, bathing. Also, nurturing is very important. Nurturing involves the physical affection and physical touch. Loving touch boosts emotional health. Ways that a parent can show these physical affections and nurturing is holding the baby, stroking their hands, feet, and cheeks, rocking the baby. Another tip that I found in my research is what they call wearing your baby, finding a sling or a wrap that holds the baby close to the mother's chest as she's moving through her day. Another way to promote attachment in infants is through communication. This is often difficult for parents. It's really important that a parent talk to their baby throughout their day, throughout the routine. This is difficult for some parents because they feel that Because the baby can't talk back, they seem silly. But it's really important for babies to hear their mother's voice, especially if the mother is out of the room. Talking so that the baby can hear you and know that you're still around helps with that attachment and security. Also, when talking to your baby, be sure to provide eye contact. Babies' first communication skills come from meaningful eye contact and looking at facial expressions. The next way to promote attachment is through designing and guiding. This involves scheduling and routines. Having a stable and constant routine so that the baby feels secure and knows what to expect. The last one on this slide is support learning. This involves doing activities together, reading, playing games, dancing, singing, anything that will promote learning and a parent-child interaction. There are many situations that can be challenging in the attachment process. For example, if a baby is born premature or with other complications at birth that require them time in the neonatal intensive care unit, it may be hard for the parent to attach because they are in an enclosed environment where they can't hold the baby or pick the baby up as often. Also, parents or mothers who suffer from postpartum depression may have a hard time attaching and bonding with their child. The temperament of the child may also affect attachment. Really colicky babies who are very fussy and cry a lot may be hard for parents to handle and form a bond with. Parents may also have an unrealistic expectation of what parenthood really is. So if these expectations aren't met, they may avoid the baby or provide inconsistent care. Another really difficult situation is when a parent may be removed from the home for abuse or neglect situations, or the baby's been in an orphanage and has been adopted. Unstable family situations can also affect attachment. Extreme poverty, divorce, family violence, those things have an effect on how a baby feels safe and secure. The last challenge in attachment is parental employment. Mothers who work full-time and the baby spends a lot of time in daycare, those children may have a difficulty in forming secure attachments with their parents. Reactive attachment disorder is rare but serious condition that occurs when a child has not established an emotional relationship to a parent or caregiver. These children are oftentimes abused, neglected, or have had multiple caregivers. These children may also be subjected to hostile environments. The risk factors for reactive attachment disorder are children who are raised in an orphanage, have inexperienced parents, have a prolonged hospitalization, are in extreme poverty, have been abused emotionally, sexually, physically, have significant family trauma as in death or divorce, has a mother that is postpartumly depressed, or has a parent that is mentally ill, has anger issues, or is abusing a substance. Also, frequent changes in caregivers are a risk factor. A child that has the following signs may have reactive attachment disorder: failure to reach out when being picked up, having no interest in playing games or with toys, they're calm when left alone, they resist comfort or nurturing, they resist or dislike being held or touched, they avoid eye contact, they engage in self-soothing behavior like rocking or self-stroking. The results of reactive attachment disorder are